Spiritual nugget number 10. Spiritual principles are laws of the universe. First of all, what is a spiritual principle? A spiritual principle is something like love or honesty or acceptance, compassion, willingness, open-mindedness. These are spiritual principles. You might hear someone saying that they're trying to practice spiritual principles. And essentially what that means is we use spiritual principles as a way to transcend human fallibility. When I practice honesty at a time when it would be really convenient for me to lie, I have just practiced a spiritual principle. Spiritual principles are similar to the laws of physics that we see around us. They're consistent, unchanging, abundant, and they can be used by anyone, anywhere. Spiritual principles aren't just ideas that we've come up with in the English language. They're actually something that physically exists. All languages and religions have words for these principles, and if all languages were decimated tomorrow, the humans that would come after us would come up with words for these principles. It's essentially the same way that a maple tree has a name, but it's still a maple tree. And maybe different languages have different words for the maple tree, but the maple tree physically exists. There is a famous medium named Anthony William, and if you are not a believer in mediums or a believer in the afterlife, this will still work for you as a metaphor, and you can interpret it in whatever way fits into your view of universal spirituality. But essentially what Anthony Williams says is there is an angel for every spiritual principle that we have. There is an angel of compassion, there's an angel of faith, there's an angel of acceptance, and the ultimate angel, which is the angel of unconditional love, whom we would call God. When we call on spiritual principles, whether we meditate on them or we're trying to practice them more in our life, we gain the power that they contain. And for a few moments, our spirit is lifted into the realm of consciousness that some people call the unmanifested. It's that universal consciousness, intelligence that powers everything. And armed with this knowledge that spiritual principles aren't just like a way to be a nicer person, that they're actually powerful spiritual properties of the universe. Today, let your spirit be closer to its original home by practicing one spiritual principle consciously.